We also looked at identifying the children who were exploited to produce those images. We worked with police organisations, law enforcement organisations and other NGOs to look at how children could be located and could be safeguarded in terms of those terrible issues that we see, unfortunately, as a big issue today.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna skip the whole intro thing. Subscribe, join the divas, leave a like, do your big one, because today we have a lot to unpack. Now, first bomb I want to drop is I'm working on a sickening video for you guys. I know you think I'm running out of content, which girl, the gears are still running. Y'all just don't know what's coming to you behind the scenes, okay? I have a video that I can't post yet because it has a police investigation involved, but that's gonna be a few weeks until I can post it. But I promise you guys it's gonna be worth the wait. If you're a member, you already know the tea, you saw the little teaser, but let's get right into today's video because that's what you guys clicked for. Now, as I mentioned, I'm working on other videos, and upon investigation I found something really interesting, and I haven't seen anybody talk about it yet. I think I've seen Casey speak on this very briefly. I can't remember if it was publicly or in DMs, but in case you guys don't know, today we're going to be talking about Vernon Jones. Vernon Jones is head of safety over at Moviestarplanet. His job is to make sure the games being produced are compliant with child safety guarding standards, making sure they're, quotes, fun and safe for children to engage with their peers. Now, I could bore you guys with his background, but to sum it all up, I did the research. He has a lot of credibility. He has over 20 years of experience in child protection, and I'm certain he still works over at Moviestarplanet. In this video, we're going to be breaking down an interview he did with The Brief, the state of Moviestarplanet's child safety, and how well of a job he has been doing compared to what he has implied in interviews and articles.
A place where you can always check out what your friends are doing.
Moviestarplanet has been subject to online predatory behavior since its release. In 2014, an 8-year-old boy was using his family computer to play Moviestarplanet. His mother, Mrs. 𝙈𝘼𝙆𝙆𝙀, was shocked to find a string of sexually explicit messages on her son's account. She was sure the messages were being sent by adults given the overly explicit language. Mrs. 𝙈𝘼𝙆𝙀 spoke out to news outlets stating, "I was shocked and horrified when I saw the messages. It's very creepy and worrying and seems to be a hotbed for sexual conversations from children, and maybe even adults pretending to be younger." She went on to look through the comment sections and forums and was shocked to find even more explicit content. When registering an account at the time, Moviestarplanet had no age verification function in place, and it was targeted and still is at a younger demographic. Mrs. 𝙈𝘆𝙆𝙀 reported the incidents to Sussex police and set up a Facebook page to enable parents to highlight other websites they fear could be harmful to their children. But she received tremendous backlash from the media with comments such as, "Just another example of poor useless parenting," and "Have some people no brains at all?" But how did Vernon Jones respond to all of this? Vernon Jones started off by apologizing for all the concerns caused. He stated, "Inappropriate posts were cleared from the forums and word filters were updated." He also stated the company does not hesitate to make changes and sanctions users for posting obscene comments. How accurate do you think this is? Now, I live in the capital of the United States of America, unfortunately, and they do have a yearly FOSSI conference, which stands for Family Online Safety Institute. Vernon Jones has not attended these conferences since 2014, and as someone who claims to care so much about child safety, it's not giving diva. Here's a direct quote I found really interesting. He said in an interview with a news outlet, "It is important that all staff working at Moviestarplanet are aware of child safeguarding issues throughout the game's development process. My role, therefore, is to help keep the multidisciplinary staff group, computer engineers, moderators, graphic artists, etc., aware of this perspective when designing, maintaining, and moderating games for children." This is absolutely insane, you guys. They literally just put a top with curse words all over it in the shop for Rare Week. Not to mention the middle finger and all the gore animations we've had. Are they off a perk or something? Based off the way he speaks about it, I think he truly believes this game is educational and safe for kids. The Moviestarplanet website states that he is responsible for implementing and monitoring the comprehensive safety guarding measures. But anyways, I'm gonna dive into an interview he did with Meredith Reed on The Brief. I was so shocked when I found this because we barely ever hear from this man, and this is like a big deal. As much as people shit on the state of MSP, I can't believe no one has spoken out about this. This past year alone, so much has gone down. And where was Moviestarplanet's safety team? Perhaps sparking it up in the break room?
I'm here today with Vernon Jones. He's the head of safety for Moviestarplanet.
Moviestarplanet is probably the first social networking site that children will learn about and be actively involved in. It's a game for children between the ages of 8 to 15, and it allows children to create content, to create friendships, and as I said earlier, it allows them to involve themselves in a safe social networking experience for probably the very first time.
Based off the way he opens up the interview and begins to describe Moviestarplanet, you would think that this was made when the game was in a better state. Not necessarily that it was ever really at a good state, but at least when they had a bigger staff with more moderators involved. Also, it goes to show he's aware of how sensitive this playground can be, and lately they just haven't been taking the correct measures. The hacking incident that happened like 3 months ago was highly inappropriate and definitely could have and did traumatized a lot of people. By the way, I will link the full uncut interview in the description.
You came to your current position as head of safety at Moviestarplanet. What started your journey into working in children's rights and safety?
I'm educated and registered as a social worker in the UK and in Denmark. So I'd worked in statutory social services departments, working with children and families, mostly in child protection. That involves making sure that children are safe and making sure that you're, as an advocate for children, you're making sure that they reach their full potential. I was asked by Moviestarplanet back in 2012 to look at the issues and come and take up this post that I have now.
Throughout the interview, he does talk a lot in circles. I obviously cut it down a lot. It seemed to be giving very PR conscious responses. I mean, he is a social worker after all. He seems like a nice guy with good intentions. I just don't know if I believe what he's putting on the table.
Could you tell us, what is the current state of child safety in the video game industry? What do you see as the biggest areas in need of change or improvement?
Okay, here's his chance to clear the air. Thank you, Meredith, for asking the burning questions, because we know it's at a terrible state right now. Like, let's see his response.
One of the issues that we're looking at Save the Children, and a lot of industry people are looking at, is a thing called safety by design. Trust and safety, working together with the production teams, with the people that produce the online content from the very beginning. And that sounds easy, and that sounds something that, yeah, should be done. But a lot of games, they're produced by small teams, and maybe they don't have a child safeguarding trust and safety team. They're focused on producing the game, getting the game out as soon as possible. Sometimes we may forget about the trust and safety issues. All the people that are involved, they need to be engaged. They need to know what they're doing will have a consequence for children in the future. That involves a lot of hard work. That involves a lot of social skills, management skills, being able to bring everybody together.
Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm an expert, but this is my thought process. What is the hard work he's referring to? Is there like a process that all the content MSP produces has to go through in order to make sure it's safe for kids? If you're in this profession, let me know. I just think it's common sense, and you wouldn't need safe guidance in design aspects. I want to know the conditions, because is it not common sense to not put a top with F words all over it in a game for kids? Also, how do you forget trust and safety issues? I know it's a small team, but I'd rather they take 2 weeks for these themes and work on protecting kids and reading our emails rather than have weekly themes and not do anything.
What would you say to those companies that don't engage in safety by design, don't make trust and safety a priority? Obviously, there is an expense involved.
Well, this is always a difficult issue for trust and safety. We're always seen as the bad guys. I remember one day the production team started playing the Darth Vader music when I walked down, because that's how they saw me, as the guy that always told them no. I saw where they were coming from. It's like, oh, he's here again to tell us what we can't do. And we don't want to see children harmed in any way or form in relation to a gaming context. If we don't have the safeguarding measures in place, children can be harmed. Children can be bullied. Children can lose their accounts through cheating. Children can be groomed online. These are massively important issues. There are economic consequences and there are social consequences for a company, how it's seen by the public, how it's seen by parents.
Jesus Christ, I want to know what ideas these employees are pitching that he has to constantly reject. This next topic he's about to get into, though, is really interesting and would explain why there's so many cases of grooming that are poorly handled.
Working with children online means that there are going to be incidents, there are going to be cases that need to be worked with together with government agencies and law enforcement agencies. So we need a legislative framework that allows us to protect children's privacy, but also pass information to law enforcement agencies when illegal activity takes place on our sites. Governments need to allow us to protect children's privacy, but we also need to be able to give law enforcement agencies the information that will protect children, that will allow them to work with social services departments to identify children that maybe have been groomed online.
This is really, really interesting. Despite there being a whole data breach, as easy as it may sound, I think they're just under a condition where I don't think they're allowed to just hand out personal information all willy-nilly to authorities. We've seen similar things with Turkey and other countries where instead of working with authorities and giving out crucial information to help with cases, they just ban the apps altogether. So maybe it's something like that, but I'm not too sure. I think that's going to be the end of this video. Oh my god, first off, thank you to my gorgeous members, Ollie, Jade, Shrooms, Nagy, Bun, Casey, and Masquerade. You guys are the absolute best. Love you all so much. I have some juicy videos coming up. Like, I'm excited. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss them. But yeah, I hope you all like this video. I really wanted to wake it up since nobody else is. But yeah, I love you all so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.